This date took a dark turn. I should have left sooner. The rain hammered against the tall, fogged-up windows of Giovanni's bistro in Greenwich Village, like angry fists demanding entry. I sat alone at a small corner table, draped in white linen, nervously twisting the stem of my untouched water glass. My heart wouldn't stop its anxious flutter. He's only 15 minutes late. Asterisk, I kept repeating to myself. Asterisk, New York traffic is brutal. He'll show. My name is Emily Harper, 27 years old, marketing coordinator at a mid-sized firm in Midtown, and apparently still optimistic enough to believe that the next first date could change everything. The string of disappointments behind me should have taught me better. But here I was again, lipstick fresh, black dress carefully chosen, hair falling in soft waves, hoping. His name was Daniel Whitmore, 32, architectural restorer. His dating profile had shown him smiling on rooftops of old Brooklyn brownstones, tool belt slung low, with kind blue eyes and a bio that quoted Rilke. Let everything happen to you. Beauty and terror. I'd messaged him first. He'd replied within minutes, witty and warm. I should have left the moment he finally pushed open the heavy wooden door, shaking rain from his dark wool coat, and offered that crooked, disarming smile. But I didn't. Sorry, Em, he said, sliding into the seat across from me. Water droplets clung to his lashes. Up close, he was even more striking than his photos. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a kind of quiet, capable presence that made the noisy restaurant seem to quiet down. The L train was a nightmare, and then the rain started. You look incredible, by the way. That photo of yours doesn't do you justice. I felt heat rise in my cheeks. Already with the compliments. We haven't even ordered drinks yet. He laughed, low and easy, the sound wrapping around me like the cashmere scarf he wore. The waiter appeared almost instantly, and Daniel ordered a bottle of Chianti Classico without hesitation, as if he knew exactly what the night called for. When our glasses arrived, he raised his. To unexpected nights and better company. We clinked, the wine was rich. Velvety, conversation flowed effortlessly at first. I told him about my chaotic weeks balancing campaigns for fashion clients, and how I dreamed of writing something real one day. He listened intently, nodding, asking thoughtful questions that made me feel truly seen. He spoke about restoring historic homes, bringing old bones back to life. There's something sacred about it. He said, eyes softening. These buildings have stories, layers of lives lived before us. You peel back the wallpaper and find love letters from 1912. It reminds me nothing is ever truly gone. I melted a little when I mentioned my younger sister Lily, a freshman at Syracuse University, who texted me daily about dorm drama. His face shifted with genuine warmth. Family's everything, he murmured. I lost my older brother 2 years ago. Car accident upstate. Marcus was my best friend. After that, I guess I started looking for real connections. Not the surface stuff. The vulnerability in his voice tugged at something deep inside me. I reached across the table and squeezed his hand. His fingers were warm, strong, steady. That simple touch felt like a promise. Mistake number 1. We lingered over pasta, tagliatelle for me, osso buco for him, sharing bites and stories. He made me laugh with tales of stubborn clients who wanted modern kitchens in 19th century homes. I told him about the time I accidentally pitched a campaign to the wrong client and survived. The rain eased outside. The bistro's warm lights and the wine made everything feel soft and possible. When he suggested walking to Washington Square Park, the fountain at night, with the rain just stopped, it's magical, I agreed without hesitation. His hand found mine as we stepped onto the wet sidewalk. The city hummed around us, yellow taxis slicing through puddles, laughter spilling from bars, the distant wail of sirens I barely registered. We strolled slowly. He told me about growing up in a quiet town near Albany, how the city both excited and exhausted him. I opened up about my parents' recent divorce after 28 years, how it had shaken my faith in forever. He stopped under a street lamp, turned me gently toward him, and brushed a strand of hair from my face. "You deserve someone who stays," he whispered. Our first kiss happened there, soft and tentative at first, then deeper, filled with the kind of hunger that makes you forget everything else. My pulse raced. For the first time in years, I felt alive. Then his phone vibrated in his coat pocket. He pulled back slightly, glanced at the screen. For a split second, something cold flickered across his features, his jaw tightening, eyes narrowing. The charming smile returned so quickly, I almost convinced myself I'd imagined it. "Work emergency?" I asked lightly. "An old client, persistent." He silenced the phone and slid it away. Where were we? But the moment had cracked. A tiny seed of unease planted itself in my stomach. I should have paid attention to it. We reached the park. The arch glowed white against the dark sky. A lone guitarist played a melancholy melody near the fountain. We sat on a damp bench, shoulders touching. Daniel draped his coat over me when I shivered. He seemed perfect, attentive, funny, deep. "I don't usually invite someone back on a first date," he said after a while, voice low. "But my place is just a few blocks away in the West Village. I make a killer espresso, and I'd love to show you some of the restoration photos from my latest project. No pressure at all. If you want to call it a night, I'll walk you to a cab." Every rational voice in my head screamed, "Bad idea, first date, his apartment, late at night." But the wine hummed pleasantly in my blood. His eyes were so sincere, and the alternative, going home to my empty apartment and replaying the night alone, felt worse. "Just coffee," I said with a smile. "Then I really should get home. Early meeting tomorrow." His building was a classic pre-war walk-up on a quiet, tree-lined street. The stairs creaked under our feet as we climbed to the fourth floor. The hallway carried a faint smell, fresh paint mixed with something sharper, almost metallic, that I couldn't quite place. Inside, 4B was stunning. High ceilings with original tin details. Exposed brick walls lined with built-in bookshelves, crammed with first editions. Hemingway, Du Maurier, a whole section on architecture and history. A large oak table was covered in blueprints and photographs of crumbling houses mid-restoration. It felt warm, lived in, safe. "Wow," I breathed. "This place is beautiful. Make yourself at home," he called from the kitchen. The espresso machine hissed to life. I wandered the shelves, trailing my fingers along the spines. Behind a row of books, a framed photo caught my eye. A younger Daniel with his arm around an identical-looking man in front of a grand Victorian house. Both smiling wide, brothers, asterisk. I smiled softly. Family really did mean everything to him. He returned with 2 small cups of espresso. We settled on a deep leather couch. Soft jazz played from hidden speakers. The conversation continued, even easier now. He asked about my writing dreams, listened as I described the half-finished novel in my notebook, a story about sisters finding their way after loss. He seemed genuinely moved. Then his phone buzzed again, louder this time. He read the message, and the warmth drained from his expression like someone had flipped a switch. Daniel, is everything okay? Yeah. He placed the phone face down on the coffee table a little too hard. Just someone who doesn't know how to let go. The unease grew. I checked my own phone, 12:17 a.m. It's getting late. I should head out. Rain check on the rest of those stories. His hand landed firmly on my knee. Stay longer, Emily, please. I don't want this night to end. There was a new edge beneath the plea. I stood anyway, smoothing my dress. Another time. Thank you for a lovely evening. He rose too, positioning himself between me and the door. Not obviously blocking, but close enough that my heart rate spiked. Daniel, I'm serious. I need to go. His eyes changed. The kindness vanished, replaced by something flat and empty. You're not listening to me, Emily. I reached for my coat. He grabbed my wrist hard. That was the moment everything shattered. You should have left sooner, he said quietly, like the smart ones did. My blood turned to ice. I tried to pull away, but his grip was iron. Let go, you're hurting me. He smiled, and it was all teeth. You're just like the rest, so trusting. So curious asterisk. Your sister Lily talks about you all the time on her Instagram stories. Big sister goals, right? Always there for her, always so open. Hearing Lily's name from his mouth felt like a knife in the gut. I screamed and fought, raking my nails down his face. He cursed and slammed me against the wall. A framed photo crashed down, glass shattering. The metallic smell was stronger now, old blood hidden under layers of bleach. He dragged me toward a hidden door behind the bookshelf. When it opened, cold, damp air rushed out carrying the stench of decay. Fear and chemicals. Stairs led down into darkness. I fought desperately, kicking, biting, thrashing with every ounce of strength. I managed to break free momentarily and bolted for the front door, screaming at the top of my lungs. A neighbor's door cracked open. An elderly woman in a pink bathrobe, eyes wide with fear. Help, call 911. He's trying to kill me. Daniel appeared in his doorway, composed, dabbing blood from his cheek. She's had too much wine. We had a disagreement. I'm sorry for the disturbance. The woman hesitated. I lunged toward her, but Daniel was faster. His arm locked around my throat from behind, cutting off my air. The door slammed shut, locks clicked. No one was coming to save me. He hauled me back inside, my heels dragging across the floor. The basement door closed behind us with a heavy, final thud. The basement was hell. Plastic sheeting covered the floor. Stainless steel table stood in the center, fitted with thick leather restraints. Pegboards held tools, scalpels, saws, pliers, things designed for pain. In the far corner, 3 large blue barrels emitted a faint, sickening odor. A drain was set into the concrete floor. Daniel worked methodically, zip-tying my wrists and ankles to a metal chair bolted to the ground. He hummed softly while he did it, as if preparing dinner. You picked the wrong man, Emily, he said conversationally, pulling on black nitrile gloves. Or maybe I picked you. I've been following Lily's posts for months. She shares so much. Your favorite restaurant, your weekend routines, how protective you are of her. It made you easy to find. Tears burned down my face. Please, Daniel David, whatever your name is. I won't tell anyone, just let me go. I have a family, Lily needs me. He laughed, a soft, almost affectionate sound. They all say that. Over the next hours, he told me everything while he worked. How his real name was David Whitmore. How his brother Marcus had discovered his secret years earlier and tried to turn him in. David killed him first, staging the car accident. Then the hunger grew. 8 women over 4 years. All met on dating apps. All trusting. Beautiful, full of life. He restored houses by day and destroyed lives by night. I almost let you leave, he admitted, selecting a scalpel that glinted under the harsh bulb. You were sweeter than most, but when you touched my hand at dinner, that sealed it, that connection, I need it. The pain started, shallow cuts at first testing. He called it, he wanted conversation. He wanted me to beg, to tell him about my childhood, my fears, my love for Lily. Every time I refused, the blade bit deeper. I drifted in and out of consciousness, thinking of my parents' faces at Thanksgiving, Lily's laugh on our last phone call, the unfinished manuscript in the drawer of my nightstand. I cursed myself for every ignored red flag, the late arrival, the phone messages, the way his charm felt practiced rather than natural, the metallic smell, the photo hidden behind books. I should have left sooner. I don't know how many hours passed. My voice had gone hoarse from screaming. My body was a map of fire. David prepared to move me to the table when we both heard its sirens. Close, getting closer. He froze. That nosy old bitch must have called anyway. He began cutting my restraints. Not to free me, but to drag me out a back exit he mentioned. A van waiting in the alley. My right hand came loose first, with a surge of pure survival instinct. I grabbed the scalpel and drove it deep into his thigh. He roared in agony and staggered back, blood spraying across the plastic sheeting. I screamed with everything left in me. Help down here, please. Heavy boots thundered overhead. The basement door exploded open. NYPD officers poured down the stairs. Guns drawn, flashlights cutting through the horror. Drop it, hands where we can see them. David lunged toward me one final time, eyes wild with rage and desperation. A single gunshot cracked through the basement. He collapsed inches from my chair, blood pooling beneath him, surprise frozen on his face. Then the world went mercifully black. I woke in a hospital bed at Bellevue 2 days later. Machines beeped softly. My mother held my left hand, eyes red from crying. My father paced near the window. Lily flew in from Syracuse and refused to leave my side, curled up in the chair like she did when we were kids. The doctors listed my injuries: concussion, cracked ribs, multiple lacerations, significant blood loss, but I was alive. A miracle, they called it. The police told us the rest. David Whitmore had been on their radar for years under different names. The barrels contained remains. Evidence linked him to at least 9 victims. My survival helped close the cases. The neighbor had eventually called, after hearing continued screams. 3 months later, I sat on the same bench in Washington Square Park. Spring had arrived fully. Cherry blossoms floated on warm breezes. The fountains sparkled innocently in the sunlight. Children laughed. Couples walked hand in hand. I still jump when strangers brush too close. I triple-check every lock. Dating apps are deleted. My notebook stays closed. Some stories are better left unfinished. Lily visited again last weekend. We walked this path slowly. She asked the question she always asks, "Are you really okay, Em?" I gave her the only truth I have now. I should have left sooner, but I got out. That has to be enough. She hugged me fiercely. It is. You're the strongest person I know. I still believe in good things. Sunlight on cherry blossoms. Sisters who show up. Second chances at life. Just not as blindly as before. Every time rain falls on New York streets, I remember that night, the warm bistro, the gentle kiss under the street lamp, the charming smile that hid a monster. If you're out there on a date that feels even slightly wrong, the two perfect words, the flickering expressions, the gut feeling you can't explain, trust it. Leave sooner. You might not get another chance. Thank you for watching this story. Good luck out there, stay safe. Trust your instincts, and never ignore the red flags. If you enjoyed this dark tale, be sure to stay on this channel for more gripping stories. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss what happens next. Take care.